I'm the Success North Dallas representative to Dallas Community Police Awards Committee for the last 12 or 15 years. Bill invited me to a meeting, have a lunch, free lunch. And I went to that meeting, you know, Cliff, and he started introducing me as the new representative to the Dallas Community Police Awards Committee. Just like he does with speakers. Hey, we want you to come up and speak. And so that's why I got involved with them. And I want to, I'm also its treasurer. Suffering some bronchitis here. I want to welcome each and every one of you and thank you for being here to the annual Officer of the Year presentation. In the years before the Dallas Community Police Awards Committee first came together, citizens would also try to get together and say, hey, we would like to honor the police officer. And so they would do that, but it can hit and miss and all that kind of thing. So in the 70s, a bunch of civic organizations got together and they formed the Dallas Community Police Awards Committee. And in about 1972, I guess, we honored our first, not we, I wasn't there, but the organization honors its first Officer of the Year, of the month. And ever since then, we've honored a single officer of the month at each one of our venues. And I'd like to introduce the members of the organization now. Dallas Community Police Awards Committee, if you're here, please stand up. These are our member groups. We meet once every 2 months and we elect and select out of profiles that are sent to us. Thank you very much. Membership is open to any civic organization, and if anybody is interested in having their group join our group, we'd love to have you. At first, only 6 to 8 officers were honored each year. And then since the 80s, we've done that, told you that, but we've honored almost something over 500 officers each and every month. It's a small thing, but when you get to meet the officers and you do a presentation and you see the smile on their face because somebody said, thank you, not, I would believe excluded all. That's what we do, and we're very proud to do that. And from each one of those officers in December or January, we select, which is really a problem, and it's a rough thing to do, to go through all the officers that we've, first of all, selected for the month, and then we have to say, hey, here we go. Who's going to be the Officer of the Year? So that is pretty important to us. I don't know how many are aware of it, but the Dallas is the 9th largest city in the U.S. with a population of over 1.3 million people. The Dallas Police Department was formed in 1881 and has now somewhere above 2,900 active duty officers. And we're trying to get that up. I think they're recruiting very heavily. So if you want to join the police force, let me know. Here in Dallas and throughout the whole Metroplex, there's a unique and almost unprecedented amount of cooperation and camaraderie between all the agencies, police, sheriffs, state troopers, FBI, Secret Service, DEA, U.S. Marshals, and all the other letters that form our government organizations. And as a member of the North Dallas Crime Commission, I see these connections each and every month at the meetings we hold. Can I have all the law enforcement folks here, and anybody that's in the military or has been in the military, please stand up and be recognized. Thank you all for your dedication and commitment to the citizens of Dallas and this lovely, beloved United States of America, making it a safe place to live and work. We love that. Before I begin, I would also like to recognize our honoree's family. His bride of 17 years, Louise, Bud, Dad, Bud, Sister Kelly, and a host of other friends. Please stand up at these tables. Some came in from Little Rock, Arkansas, and other places. Glad to have you all here. You know, we live in a world that employs the term hero far too loosely. We overuse it for movie stars, politicians, and professional athletes. And while such individuals might have a unique, singular abilities, or while they might even on occasion engage in a heroic effort, they are not really our heroes. I proudly share with you that today's award recipient and countless others like him who toil every day in the virtual anonymity and perhaps even in obscurity, that he is and they are our true heroes. This year, the Dallas Community Police Awards Committee selected Police Officer Brian Nolf as its 2018 Officer of the Year. Officer Brian Nolf was nominated by Sergeant David Davis. And the letter of nomination is truly indicative of Officer Nolf's dedication to his job, his community, and the Dallas Police Department. The quality of this officer's work is impressive and truly an inspiration to all. I've been honored over the years to introduce many fine men and women of our Dallas Police Department who have so selflessly given their time to our community and the citizens of Dallas. This year's honoree continues to exemplify the prestigious title of Officer of the Year. Police Officer Brian Nolf, badge number 6432. I think I have a slide here. I control this all the time, and I forget to do it when I'm up here. Here we go. He is a 28-year veteran. 28-year veteran of the Dallas Police Department. He came down from Michigan after being recruited as a 19-year-old by the Dallas Police Department. He served as Northwest Neighborhood Police Officer Unit and been the liaison since November 2016. Officer Nolf's commitment to his community meets and exceeds his role as a public servant, and his work has assisted with crime reduction, improved morale, and strengthened community efforts in the Northwest Division. By building and growing relationships in the business community, Officer Nolf has assisted the department in securing financial support, which is sorely needed many times, for several significant initiatives. In 2017, he worked with the Stemmons Corridor Business Association, the SPCA, which donated tools, equipment to the Northwest Bait Car program. And that program really resulted in reducing overall property crime in the region. In 2018, the association contributed funds and equipment to refurbish the Northwest Weight Room, improving morale in the department. Probably added to reducing the weight and building up some strength in some of our officers as well. In 2018, Officer Nolf learned that the Dallas Police Honor Guard lacked funds to attend the 2017 National Police Memorial in Washington, D.C. He reached out to business owners, Paul Rego with Rego Racing, who agreed to organize a blues benefit concert. They raised over $7,000, which enabled the Honor Guard to attend this memorial in Washington, D.C. I think that's awesome. Officer Nolf regularly contributes to the citizens, schools, business leaders for assistance with the Northwest Neighborhood Policing Units, community outreach efforts. That's a lot. In June 2016, he organized an event called Share the Shoes. He worked with Christ King Catholic School, business owners, and community stakeholders to gather and distribute over 300 pairs of shoes to children and needy families through two City Dallas Recreation Centers and the Ronald McDonald House of Dallas, which Bill is very, very familiar with. This is pretty awesome. In October of 2017, Officer Nolf and Officer Kao went to the National Night Out at the local Budget Suites Hotel. When they arrived, a distressed employee directed them to the rear of the complex in the swimming pool. You know what's coming. And as Officer Nolf proceeded on foot, a dad was frantically looking for his 6-year-old son. When he got to the pool, he noticed some of the residents pulling a small child from the pool. When Officer Nolf saw that one of the residents attempting to perform CPR wasn't doing correctly, and he took over immediately using the proper CPR procedures, which one of the nurses or the doctors at the hospital told him, "You really know what you're doing," and that was really important. The child had no pulse, was blue, and swollen in the belly. After a few minutes, the little boy started spewing water and gaining pulse. Paramedics took over, and then they took him over to Children's, which was awesome. The medical staff at the hospital determined the boy was submerged for about 10 minutes. Can you imagine?
Wow.
And had it not been for Officer Nolf and then Officer Kao taking over when he got tired, the outcome surely would have been different. The little boy returned to school 20 days later, which is really cool. And Officer Nolf kept in touch with the family and even took the little boy to a Cowboys game. Isn't that awesome? I also asked Officer Nolf for one of the funniest things that ever happened. Did we go out here? We on?
No.
Lights went out. Did we lose battery? Oh, it's on now?
You just turned it off.
It's on now? Test one, there we go. Sorry about that. I also learned from Officer Nolf, he and I have a luncheon every month, every other month. And, let me recognize Chief Renee Hall, who is second class. This mic is cutting in and out.
Test, test. I think it needs a battery.
All right, here we go. So during one of our luncheons, I asked Officer Nolf, I said, "Give me one of your most funniest moments that you've had being a police officer." And he told me, he said, he was on call the last day, last hours of his shift. He gets a call to come over to one of the 7-Elevens or someplace, that there was an inebriated person pulled out of his car, went in to buy more liquor. He says, "I think you better be over here." And so he goes over there, stakes him out. As soon as the guy got in the car, he goes over, pulls him up with cuffs on him. And so while he's doing that, he called his other officer friend to come over. He says, "I will do the paperwork. You have to take him and book him because that takes a lot of time. I'm going to Michigan the next day." The little guy drunk on the floor says, "Michigan? Oh, I know a lot about Michigan. I know everything there is to know about Michigan." And Brian says, "Well, all right, you answer one question and I will let you go." The other officer says, "Brian, what are you doing? This is nuts." He says, "Okay, I want you to name the 5 Great Lakes." He says, "Oh, no problem. I know Lavon, Louisville, Ray Roberts, Lake Worth, and of course the biggest one, Ray Hubbard." How many of you know the 5 Great Lakes? For those of you who don't know, it's Ontario, Michigan, Huron, Superior, and Erie. Very good. Another thing I learned about him during our luncheons is that he enjoys sports tremendously. And he also trades baseball cards, but not the way I traded baseball cards, and many of you did when we were young. It's very financially rewarding today, and Brian has a handle on all that. It is true that we often take for granted the responsibility that goes with putting on your uniform, all of you. We lose sight of the reality that is in your daily life. You investigate, you counsel, and you console. And then, after you've seen and all you've experienced, you go home to your own family. Your family, and you contribute more to society as a partner, friend, and community member. Ladies and gentlemen, let me please help you, I want you to help me congratulate and welcome the Dallas Community Police Awards Committee 2018 Officer of the Year, Officer Brian Nolf. Thank you very much. This is so great. Brian, you can see this is a law enforcement friendly organization, and we appreciate you coming up here. I would like to bring up Chief Renee Hall and Lieutenant Colonel Alan West to assist in the presentations. I'd like the Chief to present that and read the inscription on that, please.
It is my honor. It says Dallas
Dallas Community Police Awards Committee presented to Brian Knopf, badge number 6432, Officer of the Year 2018, in recognition of your dedication to service. Thank you so very much.
Lieutenant Colonel Alan West is going to present Brian with the Officer of the Year bar, which is one of the only civilian bars to be worn on the uniform of our Dallas police officer.
Now, in the United States military, we would do what we call blood pin these on you, but since the cameras are oh, he injures easily. Yeah. Thank you so much.
When they pin that one on, they've got, I think, 3 things they have to pin to make sure it doesn't fall off.
I just want to say good morning and thank you, Success North Dallas, for recognizing our officers. It is with my honor that I stand here today with you. You make the Dallas Police Department and the city of Dallas and its community so proud. You are a mentor to officers. You are just a pillar of excellence in our community. This individual took of his time, talent, and treasures and provided 600 pairs of shoes to needy individuals in this community. And so for that, we say thank you. He is the epitome of excellence, community engagement, and building trust and legitimacy in our community. So can we all just give you a round of applause? We love you. Thank you so very much.
Okay, I've got a couple more things that we want to present here. Nope. We have for you dinner for 2 at McGuire's. So I think you and Louise will enjoy that. Louise, you want to come up here?
No.
Oh, not yet. Not yet. Okay. I will hold off on it. I'll give this to Brian, but this goes to you. This is a check for from the Dallas Community Police Awards Committee for $1,000. And something that I am aware of and involved with Mr. Halsey here. He published, I think, book number 61 or 62 out of this organization, The Winningest Mindset That Saved My Life. And he wanted to give this to you. It's a book about his struggles with prostate cancer, which he is the national spokesman for. And he wrote this book, but it's so inspiring. It's the winningest mindset can be applied in any situation that you have, but it focuses on his struggles. And it's an excellent book. He wanted you to have that, and he inscribed it to you as well. So it's in here. That's for you. And then I have one other thing. This is a challenge coin on behalf of the North Texas Crime Commission. They gave this to me to give to the officer, and always have to read the inscription that goes around the outside of it, which is very important. The first function of government is to protect and safeguard the lives and property of its citizens. And I want to present this challenge coin to Brian on behalf of the North Texas Crime Commission. We also, in addition to this plaque, if you've not been down to police headquarters, on the 2nd floor, you have to go into the big helicopter that's hanging from the ceiling. But we have a museum up there, not us, but the police department does. We have our pillar, and on there we have the Police Officer of the Year sign, and we also have plaques for each year that list the officers of each month, and then the Officer of the Year. With this picture, which will be, oh, I missed something right here. This is the picture he really wanted me to use. Brian was so proud to be doing an event with George Bush, and he got his picture in there. And I think President Bush said, "I'm honored to have my picture taken with you, Brian."
Wow.
But I had to cut that out so we could have. So, once again, Brian, congratulations. And for the Officer of the Year award, would you like to say a few words?
Sure. The story about the arrestee with the Michigan lakes is actually a true story. So. I just want to say it's an honor and a privilege to receive this award. It's also a privilege to be able to represent the city by wearing this patch on my left sleeve. Anybody can tell that knows me well knows that I'm really uncomfortable with this type of attention. So, I'm no different than the other 3,000 officers, the hardworking men and women of this police department who go out and fight the good fight every day. And then do that making the city as safe as they possibly can. I obviously didn't do this by myself. There's a few people I'd like to thank along the way. One is my chain of command, which is Sergeant Robinson, Lieutenant Campbell, Major Griffith, and Chief Watson. They give me the tools to allow me to do my job. It makes it so much easier for me when I have that backing and that support. I have a partner, Mark Lutz. Guys, he's always watching out for me. It's good to have that guy that always watches out for you. That's my guy, so I appreciate it. Thank you. Is Bob Storr and Gabrielle Gilmore, I know they're here. The Simmons Corridor Business Association. How a business association and a police department works together, that's exactly how we do it. She textbooked this, put it out for everybody, for other business associations in the city, because how we work together, it works, we make a difference in the community. So thank you, make my job very easy. I'd like to thank my wife. The patience that she has with me is incredible. And I know that I do a lot of this outside the work hours, 8 to 4, and it seems like I'm always getting a call here, a call there during dinner, and I always, I'm one of those guys that can't say no, so she's always really patient with me, and I want to say thank you for that. And my dad and my sister for coming down from Michigan and from Little Rock over to witness this. I really appreciate you all taking the time. I also want to thank, and now it's Lieutenant Davis, but it was Sergeant Davis and Corporal Lockett. The Share the Shoes program, there's the three of us actually came up with that together, and we consumed a lot of coffee at a lot of Starbucks trying to get that program right, and we did it. So, they always say flattery is the best form. I had San Antonio PD reach out to me, and they want to know how we're doing the Share the Shoes program. And that's, as a police department, when somebody copies something that you do, that means you're doing something really, really right. So they should get just as much credit as me for that Share the Shoes program. I also want, Sergeant Davis, or actually Lieutenant Davis now, is the reason I'm up here. He put me in for this award, and I think he knows how I would have reacted if I'd known he was doing it. He didn't do it. And it's probably best he kept that away from me, because I know exactly how I would have reacted. So, and also to the Dallas Community Police Awards Committee, Jan and Bill, they understand back in the blue, and I want to say thank you to them. So, I'm sorry.
We're good.
Sorry,
We're good. One more thing to do. Brian asked me to give these to him to give to you. Thank you. So they're from Brian.
Jan, you messed up my podium lecture.